So we fill out acceptance of the agenda. I don't have anybody to agree with me here on this. It looks like we're pretty straightforward. So I'm going to right now just turn the meeting over to our folks from Public Works. You've got, you need those stuff, so I'll let you have it. We need about 20 minutes at the end, so if we could be round up here by 8:30, we can have all the time between now and then. Go ahead, yes.
Come up here?
Yeah, any place, just where you're directed. I've got a recorder here, so if you just close it up, and
Okay.
we can make it minutes, but yeah, it's fine. That's pretty good picking up.
Okay. Just start by introducing yourself. My name is Adele Starr, and I'm the supervisor in Mike Antonovich's office.
I'm John Walker with Public Works.
Francis Dominguez, the office manager for building safety.
Mike Miranda, Public Works, LA County.
Peter Sela, Building Safety, LA County.
And I'm Christine Mortaga, I'm a safety audience, but I'm from Mike Antonovich's AV office.
Nice to meet you, Christine. We'll talk.
Yes.
Lee Crawford, yes.
Nice to meet you too.
You guys want to take the desk? You're more than welcome to have it. Go ahead.
Mike, let's do it back.
Sure. Mike, want to sit over here, that way if there were recording.
Before we get started, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Whoever goes ahead and responds to it, because we don't know you guys, if you would please go ahead and tell us what your names are and what your capacities are when you speak. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I'm Francis Dominguez from building safety. Back some few years ago, there was a flash flood. You all remember we had that flash flood that came down along P8, heavy erosion. We have a lot of debris now in the flood hazard areas. Plus, we do have people putting items in that flood hazard area, such as fences and other, for agricultural purposes, sheds, shade structures, what have you. The main reason we're here is try to outreach to the community to maintain those flood hazard areas. It's important that they are maintained because that's what channels the water and protects properties from damage. So, that's the reason why we're here.
Yeah. Well, as many of you know, there is a very, very strong possibility that we're going to have an El Nino come in October. We've had some issues with flooding and sediment buildup in that area, in the area before that he'll be giving you background on. We fear that if we don't find a solution to this when the storm season does hit, it may compromise the road. It may compromise some safety of the houses to the south. And it's something that we really need to get taken care of. We've done some outreach in the past without very much success, but I think given some of the information that we're getting now about some pretty intense storms, we wanted to come back out again just to see what we can do to get that ball rolling. We have looked at possibly implementing some, we have voluntary measures where we reach out to the property owners and see how we could assist, how we could partner to help the property owners take care of that problem. We've also discussed with our county council to see if there were some mandatory measures, because there is, we do have a problem, and I'll let the engineers speak, because they're going to have more information.
Hi, I'm Mike Miranda with Public Works, LA County, I'm an engineer. And ourselves with Building and Safety, we're under the same umbrella of Public Works, Onto Water Resources Division. We saw the aftermath of the storm that had hit September of 2012. And there was a lot of material that was in the areas along the flood hazard that was designated on the track map that was impacting a lot of properties. And And, not only PA, but all the way through to about maybe almost to the park, towards the park, the large park area. And so we had sent out some letters to residents because we knew that there was a tremendous amount of material. And so I think we went out to the field and knocked on doors, and we were able to talk to some folks. And the response was a little difficult to explain to the residents that the responsibilities of keeping clear the flood hazard area was their responsibility. And so with that, we came out with a pamphlet, and we had some information. It was a guideline for the folks of the area, and try to see if that could be taken care of. Yes, sir.
When you go ahead and you talk about a lack of communication with the townspeople out here, was that a language issue, or was that just you couldn't go ahead and get across to these folks, or you couldn't make them understand, or what was the difficulty in communicating what their responsibilities were?
Well, I think just the idea of having a maintenance item, I think is probably was a tough first step, and still continues to be.
So this floodplain you're speaking of is on the properties of these individuals who are going to be affected by it?
Correct. The flood hazard area is designated on the tracts of all the homes that are on the north side of Avenue P8, and they're at the rear of these properties. So basically, they're parallel P8.
Yeah. And it could be that some folks just didn't know, but over the years, structures have gone up, and fences count as structures, and as those things go up, they start catching sediment, start flowing, and then you can create a problem. So it's not necessarily that people did it intentionally, maybe they didn't know that they were in a floodplain, but we've been trying to outreach. Not a lot of response. I know that the pamphlets went out. Was there any?
There was a letter went out.
There was a letter that went out to the person who lives in it, or the property owner?
Well, both actually.
Both. Okay.
We first went out with a pamphlet of information, and we were trying to basically explain the maintenance issues that were prevalent. And then later there was a letter that was sent to folks. Yes, sir, in the back.
This is a real problem with all that, is the 160th, where the road hasn't been dedicated. You can't get in there to do anything with that to keep the water from occurring there and coming around the corner. Once, if you could direct that up there and get that fixed, then you wouldn't have the problem there to get that water to the street. But it hasn't been dedicated, so you can't touch it.
Right, there's no improvements.
I think you're on to part of the problem.
That is a larger issue.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can there be, if it's requested, some type of a program where maybe some of these homeowners might be able to get a little bit of financial relief if they go ahead and they cooperate 100% with what it is you folks want to do?
We've bounced around a few ideas, and I'm going to be totally frank and put everything on the table. We've even talked about maybe possibly having the county come out here and do it one time, and then having the property owners maintain that afterwards. Only problem with that is, we can't use road funds on doing this. We've already checked the West County Council, we can't use our road account, so we have to find some other source of funding.
Is there any way that the council here can go ahead and apply a request to any county agency, state agency, for a little bit of relief, maybe to facilitate your activity?
It would be the general fund. And the general fund obviously is procedure all 5 offices would need to approve in order for us to be able to tap into the general fund.
So we have to work with the county supervisor's office?
All 5 of them. So obviously you would have the supervisor, as you would have Supervisor Antonovich's report, but then you have 4 other offices who probably have similar issues in their area. They have street improvements that they need to do. So they wouldn't be receptive to using general fund money to go out and do a project like this. Not to mention, just in this area alone, this issue exists at a bunch of different places. I mean, we went through a map, and Public Works was able to tell us.
Is there a map you guys can generate to go ahead and show us all the affected areas? Maybe we can do whatever it is we can to notify these people what's going on.
This one was the one that was the focus of this meeting, but I'm pretty sure we could identify all the areas that have.
Oh, you know, if it becomes a problem, all we need is maps.
Yeah, no, that's something that we'll be able to provide.
I believe there was other areas, specifically Avenue M.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so it's not something that you can just do here and then walk away. You need a dedicated source of funding that's going towards resolving this. From our estimates.
Whose office do we have to put this request into directly?
With our office, with Supervisor Antonovich. And I would get you the maps. Again, but the only problem is the source of funding. Typically, when we have issues with roads, we can dip into our roads account and come out and fix it. And I mean, in the AD, we have a lot of road issues. In this case, we can't use road funds for this particular type of project. I don't have another source of funding. The only
So
time I
if we don't get these maps for Antonivich's office, we don't get them. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm sorry, what was that?
If we don't get the maps for Antonivich's office, we don't get the maps. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, the maps.
I just want the maps.
Yeah, no, well, like I said, I'll leave you my contact information. I'll get you the maps. I'm talking about the actual funding itself.
He's the only one who can get you the maps?
No, we can probably generate something out of
Okay.
the local building safety office. We can do that, right?
We can look at our maps and probably put out, I think it's another like 17 maps.
Doesn't matter what
Yeah,
you're-
we can do that, yeah.
You'll get it over to our office and we'll make sure to send it.
We've already haven't had enough trouble with Antonivich's office. They're providing services here in Lake Los Angeles. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and try every avenue because this is a serious issue, because this can go ahead and start damaging property.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, putting all of our eggs in one basket doesn't seem like to be the wisest thing right now.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons that we're here. We wouldn't be here if we didn't think it was a serious issue.
Well, you're saying that it's another area. You know, back in the day, there used to be a big map up in one of the real estate offices where you could see all of the flood channels.
Right.
And most of the flood channels, and all those who bought property, we have equestrian right away, and we have flood channel right away. Now, again, what used to happen is similar to someone not removing the tumbleweeds. County would come in, take care of it, and send a bill. Basically, a mechanics lien, or a contractor's lien on your property, or a county lien on your property, that this needs to be paid for. And then it would be up to the individual to say, I have particular situation in my family, and look for alleviation of that cost. Because along 180th, the whole way, I've seen people where they basically put in a dam under, their fence. So all of that stuff creates a safety hazard for the rest of us from going on the street.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, as much as I know that people have concerns, it seems it should be kind of as an individual basis. As far as the city should be concerned, it's safety of all. So go in, clean it out, if somebody doesn't get it. I don't quite understand this one, I really don't.
Yeah.
It's like, go in and get that fence out of there and send them a bill. And they would say, oops, I shouldn't do that. I think the way we're going, we're kind of like, stepping around the issue as if like we want to feel bad to tell them to do their responsibility.
No, we don't feel bad to tell them to go in and take care of a problem that has been created. With the county going in and doing it, the biggest problem right now is funding. The estimates that we have right now for a clean out are how much?
365, I believe is what it was from Mark.
I think that was the one-time.
One time.
300,000.
Wouldn't it be two parts? You'd have funding either under safety or under a water channel. You have the reality that water needs to go so it can recharge. So these are people literally putting up a dam to withhold water to recharge.
If we were in a flood control district here, I agree, but the Antelope Valley is not in a flood control district. We tried getting the Antelope Valley in a flood control district and they voted it down. So I would be able to allocate flood control money for a project like that if it was in an area that actually had a flood control district. And again, I understand, it's a bureaucracy and there are pots.
Well, actually, when I moved out here, it was a huge thing where FEMA came out and was all kind and sweet to us because it was a safety issue, we couldn't get out of here. You had to go all the way up to H, and you had to go all the way up to Fort Mahone to get out of here. So, to me, this is one of those groundhog days. Here we are going a cycle. Friends of mine lost their property because of that break of that pipe and the water all going down into their property. So it seems like there's a two-prong here. One, continue to work to actually get into flood control, because truly, if you're living in many of these areas, you're not going to get an ambulance coming to your property. It's just not going to happen. If we get an El Nino like we had in '92, it's not going to happen. You're going to be flooded out. The second part is go and clean them up. Even if you make I teach. Even if you took one of them and made a big deal about it and said, you know, you are just egregious, we are going to clean out your mess, and here's your bill, and they can then call up all their neighbors and go on Facebook and say, holy moly, what just happened?
And that may be a possibility. When we had our last meeting to strategize about how we were going to approach this, was the DA's office was involved, and we were looking to see what avenues we had from an enforcement standpoint to force people to go in and do that. Now, again, there are issues with that too.
If you're to be fair, you do it to everybody.
You do it to everybody, and we also get a lot of people who complain that say that the county's very heavy-handed. So if we come in, and I'm sure you've heard that out in Antelope Valley, or the NAC teams and all that, they're very heavy-handed to come in, and some of these folks may be in a very hard financial situation, and to force them to do something. So again, like we talked about earlier, there may be a one time that the county comes in and does it. We have to do it for a lot of areas, because if you do it in this area, you start getting the same problem in a bunch of...
On an equivalent basis, we have a task force that come in and notice.
Do you guys have a full presentation, or is this going in a pathway? Because I want to make sure we put a lot of time.
It's more of a discussion, because we are looking at potential avenues. Some of them may include enforcement, and we want to come out and talk to the community first to see if there were any ideas. Because you probably you obviously have better relationships with your neighbors than we do. And two, that if we do move forward with enforcement, to know that we were out here to try to get some type of engagement, some type of voluntary engagement.
Okay, I posted this on Facebook right after the folks asked for a statement.
Yeah.
And I had a total of 23 hits. This month before I had 300 hits. So that's, relatively small. We've not been doing very good since we started doing it. So I'm sorry for that part of it. The other thing I want to say, the heights spell out with your flood control. This type of stuff, your property titles. So owners have that picture, I do believe, I see the stuff. I see your maps are online already. I've got my own tracks already. So the stuff is out there. You can get the website to see where it is. I know I can search it and find it again, but the maps have been out there. I've been out here 20 years. It's been out the whole time.
It's all public, but there are some folks that just go to work and come home, and you don't really go online and look to see what flood maps exist for your property. So we're trying to give them the benefit of that doubt that they actually don't know. So this was supposed to be a setting for us to have those people come, talk to them, and tell them, look, if we don't get this taken care of on a voluntary basis, we're looking at other avenues, because we do have a life safety issue.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys have a pitch on how many separate properties are going to be affected by this?
There are properties that need to clean out a sediment that's built
How
up.
many properties are set along the floodplain?
Along Avenue PA is about 37.
37.
And what about Avenue M?
Let me go back to PA. There's property affected on PA, also on 170th, and then also, I believe, it's McKenna, right. So as that floodplain goes from, I would say, west to east and then north, all the properties that are along that flow are affected. And I think we could count about 150, maybe 160 properties. Potentially, it would be affected. Some to a minimal degree and some to a more serious.
And what about Avenue M?
I'm not sure on the property.
Avenue M, I believe there was
3 different locations in the vicinity of Avenue M.
The only street I think is off 155th, but it's down further north, around M8. I'm not sure how many.
The problem in that particular area is it it floods the main access to everything north of it.
Where's the road? Yes.
Yeah, it's a flooded road, you cannot get emergency vehicles through it, this type of stuff when it's flooded. The actual impact or direct impact is not as great as P8, but the residual is far greater.
And if the time we were to go ahead and do this one time, the budget would be $365,000.
That's for P8.
For one location.
For one location.
Yeah.
And we could go ahead and figure about a quarter of that, we could quarter the number of my houses on the other side of it.
I didn't understand.
It's a 1 mile stretch roughly there on M8 that's directly impacted, plus there is 4, maybe 5 cul-de-sac type areas that are trapped because M8 is flooded.
And that's the areas here in Lake LA. I mean, we have this issue, I mean, you name it, in the 80, we have these issues.
Not to sound like an asshole, but we're only worried about like that.
No, I understand, but from our, when we're asked to fund one-time projects, remember, it's not just Lake LA that's going to ask us to fund it. We get these types of requests from a lot of rural communities that have these very same issues. So you do it for one, you got to do it for all. If I was at Quartz Hill Town Council next week and they asked me, well, why did you do it for them? You have to do it for the Quartz Hill folks too.
We're on 180th, and we ran into the same problem last rainstorm. I have a hole in the floor. And I was told that it's an easement along the back of our property, and it's up to the property owner to take care of that. And to clear tumbleweeds and the fences or whatever. Because the day after the rain, I talked to some guys from Public Works that were out there looking at everything. And they said it's the property owners because it's an easement.
One of the things that we were also looking at is maybe if there was a way to partner with the property owners where they were able to get the material off of that property and we put it in another location, and the county come in and remove the actual sediment, because there's a pretty big cost associated with that too. So we're looking at all these costs, we're looking at maybe at one time, we're looking at what about a partnership and a cost sharing where they remove the sediment and then we haul it. We have all these avenues that we're examining. That important thing is just to try to make it easier for the homeowner to comply, because up until now, there hasn't been any compliance, even with the pamphlets and the letters. They've been ignored.
And the gentleman that I talked to that were out there, that I talked to from Public Works, told me to call Building and Safety.
To get a code like to have the notice of violation issued of the property.
Yeah, and I called her ever since we had the rainstorm, a couple days after that, and left messages and everything, and I have never received a call back.
Well, that's,
We need to get your name and number and we'll.
I was going to talk to Hugo.
Number here. That's me. I can ask when you call.
I called and left many messages.
Yeah, I'll double check with that and see when. Okay. We'll get your number if you want it.
Is there any reason when you remove the sediment from the bottom of the hill, why you can't take it back up to the back of the top of the hill where it came from and start filling it in again instead of hauling it off to who knows where?
Well, that has to do with
The property, they take it off to haul it somewhere else, put it along the roads, grade it in or whatever. Why couldn't it be closer to hauling it to where it came from? Fill the spot back in.
That's what they did on
Have you thought of doing a reinforcement of, like the fire department, if you have too much brush on your lot, they can either cite you money-wise, or they can clear it and then put it on your bill. Why can't you be doing that like on P8? I haven't seen any of that dirt moved. They filled in that channel. My neighbor across the road got flooded out. Who's paying for it?
well, we're looking at possibly doing a notice of violation.
Oh, you've already done that. That was years ago when they did that flood,
But
and nothing
moving-
happened.
But
The
actually,
fence is still there, the dirt is still there, in the channel. I don't know, the 4 or 5 of the houses.
yeah, actual enforcement, that's one of the reasons why we had Dave Campbell from the DA's office in our last meeting. because